Hello, and welcome to a unique episode of the Get Momentum podcast for online entrepreneurs with me, Penny Elliott. And today we are doing a Penergy shot, which is a new format of our podcast. And there is no special guest. The only special guest is myself. And much like other podcasts that have a conversation or have some insight, I'm here to share with you what we are calling Penergy shots. My friends always, my nickname, if you know me personally, is Penergy because I always bring the energy no matter what. And most people ask me, how on earth do you get everything done in a day? For example, I got a message from someone in LinkedIn and they were like, I just cannot believe you have two businesses, a child, selling your house, doing everything, a podcast and written a book. So for something that generally you find really easy yourself is something that you are put on this planet to help other people with. So in these episodes, I am going to talk to you about how you can get some Penergy into your life. And this time, today's episode, we are starting with, and I've written some notes down, so that's why I'm looking down so that this doesn't ramble on and on and on and on, because you want this to be quick and sweet. And take away some key takeaways. There's nothing worse than listening to something. You get to the end of it and you think, I think I just wasted 20 minutes of my life. I'm not quite sure. So I want you to, for the next 20 minutes, take away some gold nuggets that you are going to go and implement, because you know what? There's nothing worse than reading a book, listening to a podcast, watching a TV show, going to a live event and going home with all the greatest intentions and not doing anything about it. So make sure wherever you're listening to this, whether you're driving, running, cycling, obviously with one earbud in only, or you've got your little kiddies running around and you are making dinner and you are making things happen, always have a little pen and paper and jot it down, or make a little note into your phone and then put a reminder so that you come back and see it and do it. So anyway, let's jump into it. That's tip number one. But today I wanted to talk to you about the importance of rewriting your life. Now, I have always thought to be a great entrepreneur. The big entrepreneurs always go from absolute tragedy to roaring success, right? And I am here to tell you that I've had some moments where my bank account has been zero, right? But I've not been on food stamps. We don't have food stamps here in New Zealand. I've not had any sexual misconduct in my life, nor have I been addicted to alcohol. Don't get me wrong, I like to have a drink. But I've never had any extreme circumstances in my life to then turn it around and become the shining star that people should follow. And I always thought that you had to have that to be a successful entrepreneur, right? All of my, successful peers, they've all had something that they've recovered from and then became a shining star. And so for a long time, I always thought, I'm never going to really make this, right? Who wants to follow someone that's had like a pretty good life, right? Pretty unrelatable. But what I have come to realize, especially after my marriage of 3 years ended this year, that's not exactly a very good thing to happen. And I am now a co-parenting mother of my little 2-year-old boy. And there's been a lot of change this year. And what that has shown me is actually I've rewritten a lot of my life before it got to that point of utter tragedy, right? I've always been aware and decided what I wanted to do and gone ahead and done it. And I want to give you a couple of examples about how you can do that too. So, for example, my marriage ending, I just took it in my stride. I was like, that was pretty poor decision making at the beginning to get into a relationship like that. I've never been close or seen, or we've never had any mental illness in my family or my friend circle, and I was really unaware of all of the warning signs. I was really unaware, and I think once you get caught into that trap, you don't actually know what is. You kind of think, well, this is not right, but I'm a very, very loyal person, and when I put my mind to things, that was it. I always thought I'd have like one cat, one dog, one house, one husband, one kid, and that was it. And I was really stuck in that story. And it wasn't until I did some inner work, and this is what, my book, Get Momentum's all about. It's the strategy, yes, and I heavily talk about the strategy, but it's also the woo side of it. Once I got into my head and realized that some of these stuff was just stories, and I couldn't save that other person, and the only person I could save was myself, and my son, and obviously the cat, and it was that I thought, right, I have to change my thought patterns to be able to get out of this, and not think that by asking my husband to leave, I was going to be some broke ass mama living in a 1-bedroom apartment, which is what I always thought that would happen, looked upon pitifully by other mothers, which does kind of happen by some of them. But I ignore those ones. And, all the woe is me type victim stories that go with my thought process of doing that. And so what I did was I surrounded myself with people and knowledge that there could be a different story that I could write for myself, and went for it. Now, I didn't really want to make that public for everyone. However, Jim Fortin interviewed me as one of 3 students in his TCP round. There was 500 of us. There's 1,000 this time. And he earmarked me and 2 others to interview on his podcast. And I've had hundreds of people contact me afterwards to say how they were in a similar situation, and that I really helped them not get a divorce. I'm not pro-divorce, but not at all. I really didn't want to be like my mother and my father and everyone else in our family that's gone through it. And I guess that's what sort of made me stay longer than anyone else has ever given him a chance. But because so many people reached out to me, I thought, you know what? I don't need to just talk about sales. I need to talk about these other things that I wrote about in my book. And so by changing my thought patterns and being committed to a new story, I was able to rewrite my life. And you can do that too with whatever you want to choose. Now, it doesn't have to be relationships, but it could also be your fitness. Now, for example, everyone knows that I have, if you've been following me for a while, I've done 18 Ironmans, 40 marathons. I train I have Mondays off. Today's a Monday for me recording this. But most weeks I do between like 10 and 15 hours of training a week, and I love it, and it is my life, and I love being outside. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably see more of my training than anything else, and insights inside that. And I love it. But you know what? I never was one of those people right from the start. I used to love going out to the pub, sleeping in when I was at uni, and when I was at school, I sort of dabbled in team sports, but really was not an athletic person at all. I absolutely hated sweating. That was pretty much one of the major reasons, which sounds so fickle now, but it definitely was. And one day I saw on the wall of a guy that I was trying to date at work, being completely transparent, and on his wall was the Ironman map and of the course, and I was like, that is ridiculous. Who rides 180 kilometers? I mean, I wouldn't even want to drive that. It sounds so boring. But some sort of seed of thought was planted in my head, and I then rewrote my story and my life by changing my thought patterns. I just thought, wow, actually that seed of thought has been planted in there for some reason, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. And maybe you're the same with your business, right? You can't stop thinking about it, and you think, there has to, this thing just keeps popping up. And so I actually decided, yep, I'm going to go ahead with it. And I surrounded myself with the right people. I got myself a coach, a nutritionist, a psychologist, because I knew that, my brain was going to be the thing that would probably let me down more than my body. And I went to a training group, and I made 30, 40 amazing friends. I'm still friends with these today, and got to that and entered and committed financially and got to that finish line. And from then on, I've done 18 of them. I've become a journalist for a cycling magazine. I've done a lot of things involved in sport. And the people that knew me from primary school and high school are like, what? How have you gone from someone that like hated cross country with an absolute passion, would always forget her PE gear so she didn't have to do PE, to someone who is like so ingrained in the Ironman culture and marathon running and everything that's like your whole entire life. People are just flabbergasted that I have made such a transition, that haven't seen me along the way. And so I want you to be able to see from that example is that you can go from being someone who does zero activity whatsoever to a multiple marathon finisher. So why is it that, so you can also do that in your business? You can go from having zero or very few clients or very few sales to having multiple sales or multiple clients or multiple six-figure business, right? All it comes down to is changing your thought patterns about your story. Rewrite that story. And then I guess the third example that I wanted to share with you is your upbringing. Now, so many people will talk about, oh, well, I'm from a poor class family. Our family was on food stamps. If you're in America or if you're in England or anything like that, where they have the class system, I'm from a middle class family. I'm from a lower class family. We were poor. We were from the Bronx. We were from this. We were from housing estate. That's all good and well. But that doesn't mean you have to rely on that. That does not mean that you have to be like that anymore. That does not mean that you have to adhere to those rules anymore. You get to choose how you shape your life now. And I'm not discounting the fact that some people had more privileges when they were younger than they do now. But the privileges that you get today are based on how you put yourself out there. So if you tell people that you're from a lower socioeconomic background and you want to hang out with the big boys, then don't tell people that. Admit that from your CV when you're talking to people, and just talk about the achievements that you've had right now. Be that person that you want to be right now. So I could say, we lived in a garage for quite a few months until we turned that garage into a house. And that ain't bullshit. That's true. When we moved to a farm, there was no house on this farm. And so we lived in the garage. And there was an outhouse toilet. And I'm not 80. So, outhouses were not the done thing. We built my parents built a kitchen, and they put a dividing, wall between at the end of the garage to create 2 bedrooms, one for me, one for them. And they put jib on, walling on theirs, and mine was just all bare. So I remember, because when they put all the jibbing up, I didn't have any shelves to put all my McDonald's toys. And that was really, really upsetting, where my mum was like, surely you want walls? And I was like, no, I like all these like shelving things. So I could say that, I've lived in a garage, but also equally, I could say that I came from a hugely privileged background, because when my parents were together, my mum and dad, my dad's a helicopter pilot by trade. He imports choppers into the country. He's always worked in aviation. And some days I was delivered to school in a helicopter. Right. So that's high privilege. So for me, my upbringing has never had anything to do with how I have written my life. I've gone from being at a private girls' boarding school, one of the best here in New Zealand, to, a public school where, we're bagging drugs off the pool table at lunchtime, right? So I've never really used my upbringing as an excuse for bad behavior or good behavior. And I want you to hear that, because if you are relying or depending on your upbringing for how your business runs, or how you show up in your business, or the ability for you to have sales or progress or growth in your business, then I really would challenge you to have a look at those stories and how you can call BS on yourself, or how you could rewrite those stories, or how you rely on your so-called connections and the fact that it's not working because this person hasn't helped you or that person hasn't helped you. So really what I'm trying to say here is you have the ability to write your own story however you want to make it. And what I've realized over this year, and especially during this COVID and pandemic, and how the certainty of what we thought we had is completely been taken away from us, and we actually have to really dig deep in exactly who we are and what we want to do. And I thought that I wanted to create a really awesome agency, and I could visualize this cool white and glass, because I love white and glass and rose gold office with all these people doing done for you services. And we started to do that about 4 months ago, and I tell you what, it was so stressful, was just not my ideal. And the thing that we do have that service. So if you are interested, we do have that service, but it is only for the very, very, very few, and it is not what our business model is going to be. And I had to go back to basics and really think about what it is that I love doing with my clients. And what was glaringly obvious is I absolutely love, love, love helping women grow their business and create that financial stability for themselves so they can write their own story. So if you want to get out of a shitty relationship, or you want to be able to go on dates to get into a good relationship, or maybe it's that you want to work on your relationship. Heck, counseling costs a shitload of money. Trust me, I know. We went 18 times and I paid for them all. Or maybe it's that you want to be able to contribute to the bills and alleviate the stress and the pressure on your husband. It might be that you want to have your own place. It might be that you want to build a little nest egg. Doesn't mean that you want to leave. It just means that you want to have a little nest egg and have your own security. My grandma always said to me, have your own money. It means that if you want to enter a competition, or you want to do some physical thing, or you want to join the gym, or you want to have a babysitter for an extra hour so that you can go out for a walk, or go for a run, or buy new running shoes, or buy some sexy ass new workout gear. I'm really into this PE Nation. I haven't bought any yet, but it looks awesome. And also one of my other friends has got some great kit that I'd really like to see if I can get some over here in New Zealand as well. And so, that requires money, that requires an income. And that's where I really want to be able to help other women rewrite their stories so they can create the income that they want to have, to either have that story that they are a successful business owner and not just a hobbyist and not just something on the side, that it actually is a substantial business. Or it might be that they want to be able to have that substantial business, have that income, so that they can rewrite another part of their life, another part of their story. So when I was looking back about how I've rewritten my life, and it's not that it's got to the point of absolute tragedy and I then had to turn it around. I kind of rewrote it before it got to that point. And I then looked at that and I thought, you know what? The thing that I did the most was I told myself I needed to have a new story. And then I surrounded myself with people and knowledge to be able to get to that next level. And I financially committed. Every time I financially committed myself to the point where I was quidsing, and this has to work because I got to make it work, because I have I've spent so much money, it has to work. So I really got my thinking cap on, and I was like, how am I going to design a business, write the story of the business I want to have? And I really, really, really want to make 60 days to 3K my signature program. I really, really wanted to make it absolute singeing, singing and dancing, and have as many people as possible in it, so that I can help as many people, as many women, and then they can go forth and help more people in their own areas of expertise. And so I thought long and hard about it, and we have relaunched 60 Days to 3K, but it's version 2.0, which is super exciting because it is a program that I ran before I had Josh, and I think we might have done one running of it while he was really tiny. Oh my God, baby brain. I think we were wrapping it up just as I had him. And this course has a 98% success rate. So every one of the women that have been through it have got to 3K or more within 60 days. And if you join the program, and you hit 3K, you get to be on the special honors wall, which is on my website. And lots of those girls there have signed clients from that website, because from the honors wall, because people go there looking for people's different services. If you get to 5K, you will get $1,000 credit. It's a cool Penny Elliott coaching check in the mail. And you can use that to work towards anything that we do in the future. That's how much I believe in this program. There's also a 14-day money-back guarantee. You have to do the work. I ain't giving you your money back if you haven't done the work. I ain't giving you your money back if I can't see that you've logged in and you've downloaded some shit and you send that in to me and then you say, look, it didn't work. That's how confident I feel, because I know if you do it for 14 days, you will be on your way. There'll be absolutely no way you'll ask for your money back. So I give you a 14-day money-back guarantee. It's totally easy. We've got some awesome bonuses as well, but they're on a first-in, first-served basis. So by the time this goes to air, the cart has already been open for a couple of days, so I'm not sure if they're left. But the first 3 people that purchased have got a mastermind call with me, valued at $1,500. Then the next 5 people, let me just check my notes. They get a website mini marketing makeover, where I go through and do a Loom recording video of your whole website, and turn it from something that just holds a place on the internet to something that actually sells. So we've the value of that's usually $9.99, but really, if you can make some sales from your website that wasn't making any sales beforehand, then that's priceless, right? Because it continues to grow. And then the last bonus is for the first 10 people who purchase, they get the Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales package. So many people I see miss a huge opportunity here. It is the largest purchasing weekend of the year. And so you want to be planning that right now. You don't want to be waiting until the day before. You want to be planting those seeds of thought right now. So the first 10 people that jump into 60 days to 3K will get that bonus as well. So they will be basically double dipping. And so if you are interested to jump in and learn how you can make 3K or more in 60 days, and then once you have that system there, you can just rinse and repeat it. And we've got some ladies in the group that have been in there right from the beginning. The alumni are all in the group to help you as well. So you are going to be in a hugely supportive environment. We have weekly calls, and I've got some very funky bonuses that I'm throwing in there as well. So if you want to jump on in, make sure you hit up the show notes, or otherwise you can go to my website and you'll find 60 days to 3K there. The link is in the show notes though, pennyelliottgroup.com. I'm not sure. Actually, we will have to have a look. Go to the show notes. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find it. You'll be able to find it there. My lovely Tessa will pop it in there for you. But if you are feeling stuck, you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling overwhelmed, and you just think it's because of this, 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 and this, I want you to call BS on that and rewrite your story and be the woman that writes the story that says, I am a 6-figure entrepreneur. And surround yourself with the right people. Invest so you show up. That's the only reason why we invest, is so you show up, right? If I gave you this for free, nobody would log in. Nobody would give a shit. If you pay, you'll show up and you'll get the results. It's just like a personal trainer. It's just like driving lessons. It's just like anything that you pay for. If you pay for it, you'll show up and do it. So jump on in. You've got a couple more days before this, before the cart closes, and then we won't be reopening until next year. By which stage Christmas will have been, your credit card will be massive, and you will have wished that you hadn't have wasted 60 days and then actually gone for it and grabbed it. And also, obviously, next round we open, that Cyber Monday, Black Friday special won't be there because it'll be irrelevant because it's gone. So yeah, you want to definitely grab that because you can use that every year and other people are going to miss out, right? So don't sit on the fence, rewrite your story. As I said, there's been many times where I have started to rewrite my story before it got to tragedy, before I was sitting in the gutter. And it means it's so much easier to have a more consistent lifestyle and more consistent clients coming in, more consistent income, and a much easier life. So I hope that at the beginning I said, let's make sure that we've got some good nuggets to write down. I call them writing downables. And so I really hope that you've taken something from this and written it down or you've got some like inner wisdom that's come out, or maybe some of the stories that I've shared with you, you think, shit, I'm actually hiding behind that and I need to call myself out on it and I need to go forward and I need to rewrite part of that story. And I need to get over this excuse mentality. And I really need to rewrite my own story so that I can be in control of my life. And if you've got any of those aha moments, then please tag me on Instagram stories at Penny_Elliott with 2 T's _ and let me know what your thoughts are. I really need some feedback on these Penergy shots and see how you go. So make sure you tag me on Instagram. Take a photo of wherever you are in the world or whatever you're thinking. I love to see it, and I'll reshare it as well, and we can go from there. Jump on into 60 Days to 3K. I can't wait to welcome you in. I can't wait to help you make 3K and more. I can't wait to write you that check for $1,000. Thanks. See you next time.